Change doesn't happen overnight. I'm Moral, and this is something that I've had to rediscover recently on this journey I'm taking to improve my overall skill in Valorant by improving the smaller, fundamental things in the game, like my aim, game sense, and ability usage. This statement is so commonly used, and yet I feel like a lot of us skip over it on a day-to-day basis, and especially when trying to learn something new or take big steps to improve something in our lives. I've been a hard-stuck gold and plat player in pretty much every competitive game I've played, except for a few very rare exceptions in some games where I surpass that limit. But more often than not, I get to around gold or plat and I stall out and can't seem to break through that ceiling. It's not like I stopped playing the game or anything of the sort. I still try my best to rank up, putting the hours of time into trying, and yet I can still never break through. This is where this series came into play. I've been playing Valorant a lot more again recently, and after a couple of weeks of playing, I finally hit plat for the second time. This made me question myself. It made me wonder if I could push past this limit that I've gotten stuck at in the past and hit higher ranks than ever before. To do this, I knew I needed to take some steps to do so. I started aim training every single day in an attempt to improve my underlying fundamentals in Valorant, starting with my aim. At this point, I was aim training for about 1 to 2 hours every single day for the past 4 days. After warming up in deathmatch, aim labs, and the range, I finally decided I was ready to play ranked. This is where everything started to crumble. I played 3 games of ranked and lost all 3 of them, dropping out of plat and back into gold 3, losing my peak rank. Admittedly, this hurt a lot more than it should have, and that night I sat there wondering if everything I was doing was worth it. Was the hours I was putting into aim training really worth it just for me to get on and see no improvement at all? When I woke up the next morning, I remember the quote from the beginning of this video, that change doesn't happen overnight. As much as I wish it could, just like many of us, some things just won't ever happen, and this is one of them. I realized that it can take days, weeks, or even months to get to the point where I want to be. After looking over my recent gameplay and my recordings from previous aim training sessions, I realized something. On the Voltaic benchmarks, I placed gold in these, which according to them is where you want to be for an aspiring plat player. It should have been so simple and obvious, but I just didn't see it because of how upset I was. This doesn't mean that I'm going to automatically be better than I was before at the game at all, just because I did some benchmarks. It's where I placed because at this current point in time, that's as good as I am. I was around high gold, low plat before in Valorant, and where I placed in the Voltaic benchmark showed me that that's where my aim currently lies as well. So even though I was at first very discouraged, I realize now that things don't just switch automatically for some small amounts of aim training. The people who made these benchmarks and who I want to be as good as aim-wise one day have been doing this for years, so me doing it for a few days and feeling discouraged doesn't even make sense. After realizing all of this and thinking it over, the new look on things helped me rekindle the motivation I had from the beginning. I decided to look more into Voltaic and the resources that they have, and I decided to start the VDIM playlist. This is the Voltaic Daily Improvement Method. It focuses on different tasks for different days of the week to help you train all of your aim-related skills and improve as fast as possible by giving you tasks that are probably out of your range at the current time. According to them, this forces you to realize that some things aren't working and adjust to find what does work to further improve your scores. After doing this for the first 2 days, I already started to see results. Now, of course, I've already accepted the fact that this could have been a fluke, and I got lucky, but it's something we'll see as time goes on. My first game of ranked I played, I won, and I finally got some of my lost RR back. After this, I decided to play some more on an auth account with a friend, and I had some of the best and most consistent games that I've had in quite some time. My aim felt amazing, it felt like things were all flowing smoothly and I couldn't believe I was playing the way I was. All of that being said, all my efforts finally felt like they were starting to pay off. All the hours I spent aim training was finally yielding some fruit after the disastrous day from before. I'm still far off from where I want to be, and from the goals I have for myself, but the past few days have been an amazing step in the right direction. Time will tell how and if these efforts truly will pay off, but I have hope for the future that if I stay consistent with everything I'm doing, I'll see the success that I'm hoping for. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on everything I'm doing to aim train, please let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to make a video on it. Other than that, I would really appreciate if you could like the video and subscribe because it helps the channel a ton. And of course, if you have any other tips or suggestions you think would help me out, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.